Yeah.
And our next thing is kind of related to that is if and when you do go remote, moving to web-based management tools. So this is really important, particularly in the just there's a lot that you can do and say when you're in close proximity to each other
Yeah.
because there's the presence there. So you have to simulate that whenever you go remote. Okay. So a big part of that is using, but both for doing the work and for just managing the personal relationship. So I like Zoom and Google Meet. I know you guys use Google Meet a lot, right?
Yeah. We just switched over from Zoom to Google Meet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's sort of to simulate the idea of being in a room and seeing each other's faces and being able to respond to how each other's
Getting
looking
some
and feeling.
emotional data.
Yeah, and you don't get as much, but you
Yeah.
can simulate it.
Yeah.
With things like Zoom and Google Meet. The other thing is streamlining your project management. So if you're a local business, you might be in the habit of just like kind of keeping a board up for what the to-do tasks are.
Yeah. If your
or a
Kanbans are on a
list.
whiteboard, they might move to a Google Doc sheet.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
doing shared documents that way. So a lot of good there's a lot of good project management, digital project management. I think you guys are on Basecamp. We use Asana, but kind of taking everything that happens in person or on a whiteboard and seeing if you can digitize that helps streamline things once you do go remote. And I would especially say the video conferencing piece of it. A lot of times you need to have like difficult conversations. It's really hard to do that if you're talking on the phone maybe or doing like IM or something like that, instant messaging. So if you move to web-based management, both for project management, like financial management, like you said, and person-to-person communication.
Yeah. We found this to be really helpful. I really think my dad, when I was really young, taught me that every business consists of three things: what you do, how people find out about it, and how money moves around. And so for us, we have one major web-based management tool for managing each of these three things. For us, it's Basecamp for completing actions. So our entire workforce of both staff and outside support works with us in our Basecamp. And then for marketing and people finding us, we're using HubSpot as our CRM. So our stack is then those two, Basecamp and HubSpot. And then we have QuickBooks for finance. So we're moving more of our cost management into an automated attribution capability built out in QuickBooks. And so we had to do it manually for a year to get enough data, but now we're backloading that into QuickBooks to make it smarter. So I think of these three as sort of three different pillars that are next to each other, all resting on a foundation of Slack. And then we actually even built our own web-based set of bookmarks just to stay organized with what the authoritative versions of certain documents were,
and
and that's our standard operating procedures.
That simulates the company workbook, and Slack simulates the, hey, did you get that ad review in?
Yeah.
The talking across the disk, really quick chatter.
Ephemeral chatter. So we've actually, with these two foundational elements and then these three what we call super departments, created a system that can help us scale. But this is really tough transition for companies that have been around for a while. There are a lot of companies that are happening on the internet, and there are a lot of companies the internet is happening to.
Sure.
And you've got to decide which of those you are, but there's no company now that is immune to the internet except for Madison Glass in East Tennessee or East Nashville.